Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Jamil. Welcome to The Deal, a show where we have a chat with some of our newest and best BeatStars Pub clients. Today, we're going to be joined by the amazing Morse. You guys are surprised to see me, huh? It's not Tia. Surprise. Gotcha. All right, I'm going to bring in Morse to the chat, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Yo,
Morse, how you doing, man?
I loved how you called me amazing Morse there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a better adjective, but it kind of.
That's a new beat tag right there.
that's a new beat tag. Well, that's amazing. Well, first of all, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
For having me.
Hope you had a good holiday season so far.
Yeah, it's been as good as it could be with all the virus and all that.
Yeah, I know it's been kind of crazy. I think it's been like a little unusual for everyone, but
yeah,
you would hope that after this tough year that everybody's just kind of been able to make the most of it and at least enjoy some time with family if you've been able to see any, or just take some time to relax and kind of reflect on on what we've got through so far.
A crazy year, yeah.
For sure. Well, let's just go ahead and get started. Why don't you give a quick intro to yourself, talk about what kind of music you make and how you got started on BeatStars.
Yeah. So my name's Russell. It's my real name, professionally known as Morse. I produce it's like dark R&B mixed with like emo trap guitar stuff. Like it's so weird. You'll hear some of it later, I'm sure. It's a cool, unique mix. I've been doing it full time for about 4 years, but producing in general for like 10, I want to say. Like I started off in metal bands. So I was recording, hence all the guitars over there. I was recording bands I was in because we didn't have any money to pay for someone to record us. So and then just gradually transitioned into the style of music I make today.
Right, that's awesome. So you said that you started off making metal music. Was that like your introduction to music like itself? Was that like your first favorite kind of thing that you connected with?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I've been playing guitar since I was like 10 years old. So I started off like listening to rock and then getting into metal as I got like my teenage years. And then, when I started producing, it was to produce metal pretty much. Then, that's how it all started.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's kind of my first introduction to music too, like being like, I think 11 or 12 years old and playing Guitar Hero and discovering like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I kind of got into
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And then, when you're in your teenage years, like the angst kind of kicks in and you want like something like darker, heavier.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I went through.
Yeah, for sure.
Thing.
So when did you know that, besides just being a fan of music, like when did you know that you wanted to actually start making it? Like what kind of inspired that?
I think kind of when I started like producing, I know it's kind of the same thing happened over and over, but it was all like around that time. Right. Like I'd always played and then I like started wanting to join bands and I was like, I need to actually start writing, like learning how to like make songs and stuff. So I think that's sort of where it came from. When I joined the bands, I was like, okay, it's like the step up from learning an instrument to now you can play it, but now compose stuff with it, write something completely new. So yeah.
Cool. So can you kind of paint a picture from us? So like, where are you from? Like, and did that kind of like influence like the way that you got into music and like the style that you kind of, I clinged on to at first?
Do you mean the style I write now or like back to
like back then when you were first getting into like rock and
so I'm from London, if you hadn't noticed by the accent already.
I was guessing you didn't want to assume.
And I guess like the sort of metal scene is like, well, I'm not sure what it's like now, but when I was 10 years ago when I was a teenager, it was quite affluent and that's what all my friends are into, and that was kind of like the big genre where I was from. So I guess that kind of influenced it, but then at the same time my parents are both musicians. Cool. I grew up my parents playing rock songs and stuff on the radio, like Green Day and all that stuff. So I kind of like got it from them as well. That helped like influence what I was writing at the time.
Right. That's interesting. So you heard it, so you were hearing it at home, and were you like able to like distinguish like at a young age, like exactly what was appealing to you about it?
I guess so. It's kind of hard to say because I was like little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I remember like it was weird. Like I went through stages. Like I remember like listening to Linkin Park, and then as I started like getting into playing guitar, I like went through like these phases where I was into like Iron Maiden, and then I was really into Metallica, and then I was really into Black Sabbath and all this stuff. And it was like, I don't know, I kind of went through the years,
Right.
Music and stuff. And I guess that all just like led the continual like changing of like what genres you like listening to and stuff like that, I guess.
Right. Cool. So when did like the transition happen from, playing in bands to deciding that you kind of wanted to maybe start going into like a different direction? Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really like organic. Like it wasn't like I woke up one day and was like, oh, I want to start making rap beats. Like, so I was like producing metal, and it wasn't really going anywhere. I think the worst thing about being in bands for me was 5 people trying to make one decision. And
Right.
it's when you're like a teenager, you've got 5 egos fighting against each other.
Right.
I knew I wanted to go like solo. And it was around this time I started getting into like rap music and trap music. It was just trap started coming out. Like it was the Lex Luger, just as he started doing all his beat videos, which I know a lot of people got into through that. So just slowly, and I had some friends who were also I played in bands with, who were also starting to get into it as well. So like we were showing each other, oh, this new song and stuff. And then, yeah, it was over the course of like 2 years, like my sound just changed, and like I was listening to all this new stuff, and it was like a whole new world had opened up for me, because like where I just listened to rock and metal music,
Right.
and so all these other genres like pop music as well. So it was just a whole like new thing. So yeah, it was very gradual, natural process.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I know. Like, I've heard of like other people kind of going through that, experience before, where they're kind of really into one genre, but then like, like learning more about music within their own genre and becoming an expert sort of like opens up their horizons to sort of look at other things. Like, oh man, like I had like this perception of this type of music, but like once you really see what's behind it, it can make you think of it differently.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just like trying not to be too close-minded.
Right.
Oh no, I won't ever listen to that style. But then you listen to it, you're like, oh. And then you can also like, there's elements in metal music that you find in modern day R&B.
Right.
The same like chord progressions and stuff like that. Like it's music. It's always one big thing,
Yeah, for sure. Did you find that, like you said, like it was kind of like gradual and it happened naturally, but when you first started like experimenting with other types of music, how did you find the experience to be different? Was it like really challenging, or did it kind of like come naturally?
Very challenging. I mean, it's a whole different ball game from producing 2 guitars, a bass, a drum kit, and some vocals to all these other instruments. And it's 2 different genres. Like you have people that can be extremely talented, like metal producers, but they would suck if they tried to make anything else. And that was me for the first few years. I was shit. I thought I was amazing, but I've listened to like old beats I made were like years ago, and it's just like, I know at the time I thought I was amazing, but it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah,
so like when you started making them, like what were you kind of like comparing yourself to? Did you have like any inspirations of what you wanted your stuff to sound like?
Man, I can't think. I'm trying to think what I was listening to a lot of back then. I think it was a lot of like Wiz Khalifa, Juicy J kind of stuff.
Right. Your music now sounds a lot different than that, though.
Yeah. See, this is what I mean, because I went and then I got into like, learning what I liked.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, it was like, yeah. There's a lot of like, there's this producer called Hoochie. He's like a sort of EDM producer, but he makes, I don't know how much of my stuff you've listened to, but there's like this re-space that happens in all the songs. 7 feet away, it's like an actual bass. And he's like the first person I kind of heard using that. And I was like, damn, like this sounds good. So like sort of little things back then, I was like, I really like that, but didn't actually fully get into it and learn how to make it years after. Like, it's like, they say you like planting seeds and stuff like that.
Right. No, that's cool. That's interesting. So when you make this type of music, like where it's so unique, and you don't really hear many people sort of going into that kind of thing. Like, how do you what do you kind of do to like stay motivated? Because I know a lot of producers can kind of like, they'll have like their particular type of sound and genre, and then they'll kind of look at what other people are doing to compare themselves. But when you're kind of doing your own thing, you can't really like compare yourself to what anybody else is doing, right?
Yeah,
So is it more like kind of like just working on improving yourself and what you've done before, and just seeing what kind of makes you happy and makes you interested?
literally, like there are some, like there are a lot of artists that have the kind of sound that I do, that I get motivated and inspired from. But yeah, a lot of the time it is, I kind of like, I don't know what's a good way to explain it. Like I will listen to myself. You know what I mean, like, oh, I really like what I did in this beat. I want to try something like that in this new beat, etc. Like, and because like I said, with all like the metal in the past, it all blends together. So like I take influences from that era back then and all the other eras. So it's kind of a mix of everything. So
Right.
it is kind of like all over the place with trying to get motivated by your own stuff. And but yeah.
That's cool. I think we have like a couple questions in the chat. People got some stuff for you. Do you see that in the right? I think Bufo was asking earlier if you make drill beats, since you're from the UK.
So I love UK drill. I've made some beats which I think are decent, but like I probably wouldn't put anything out. I think if someone heard me, if I put like a drill beat out on my YouTube, I'm pretty sure I would get no views. People would be like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Do you find that is something that happens, like with your YouTube audience or with your BeatStars audience, if they're expecting a certain type of sound for you, do you ever get like nervous to try to put out something else because you're worried that they're gonna hate it? Or
yeah, dude, 100%. Like there was a song a beat I put out like a week ago, which is one with like heavy guitars and stuff and like a big like chorus. And I was really worried, like, oh, it's not my typical dark stuff. People are gonna be like, what? But at the same time, you've got to experiment. You've got to try new things. And it got good reception. I got a bunch of messages about it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I've noticed that, like, in kind of not just in music, but in all types of art, we can kind of like be our own biggest critics, right? Like with the things that we do, like, oh man, I'm worried people are gonna hate it. But it's more often than not that if you're passionate about something and you kind of like and you put that into your work, people will be really receptive of it and respect you for trying new things.
Like you are your own biggest critic, but your own biggest fan at the same time.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, and also if you're passionate and you enjoy it, I'm like, oh, I really like it, so I'm putting it out there. If it doesn't get views, doesn't get any views, but like, I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Cool. And we're going to be listening to some of your music too later. Morris was cool enough to prepare a little playlist for us, guys. So we're going to check that out and you guys hear some of his music. And, hopefully we'll do like a Q&A where you get to ask him some questions about what he kind of does to make his beats. So let's talk about like starting to sell beats, online.
Oh, yeah.
When you first started making music and you started to go into like producing this new like more R&B style or getting into it, how did you discover like selling your music online was a thing?
I knew, I can't remember exactly how I stumbled across it, but I think I had an old Instagram that I would post random clips of my beats on. I think I had people being like, yo, can I buy 3 followers? Oh, here you go. Like I learned about it and then I was like, oh, like you can actually make some money. So then I like researched it and then I found out about like BeatStars and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much how I learned about selling beats.
Cool. When you first started, like, when you first started getting into it, what were some of the things that, first starting out and posting beats or posting music, what were the things that you noticed were working and what wasn't working?
Consistently posting. Like I think when I first started going proper with my YouTube channel, I think I posted a beat every day for like 3 months. And it's kind of like you're looking at your analytics, and even though it's like you're getting like 1-2 views, you can see that it's going up.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right, so I just got to keep doing this and it's just going to go up and up and up. And that's exactly what happened.
Right.
It's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I noticed too, like, I run the BeatStars YouTube channel, and even if like things like aren't doing well, the more it's just kind of simple math, right? The more you're posting stuff, the more total numbers you're gonna get.
Yeah, I see someone compare it to like the lottery as well. It's like
Yeah.
the more beats you have out there, the more likely one is to blow up or whatever.
Right, exactly. It just takes one to blow up, right?
It's exactly what happened to me with my first beat that blew up called Sleep. Was I think during this 3 months of uploading every day, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe a month and a half in, and then suddenly just shoots up, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
well, it was called Sleep. Is it still on was that on the list that you?
That might not be on the list, because I'll be honest, I'm sick of hearing that song now.
You're sick of hearing it? You've heard it so much.
It's like 4 years ago, and it's like every song is just that beat.
Got it. Oh, so like you've been seeing like you've been seeing like a lot of placements for it. Like
I've had a bunch of places with that one beat, and it's just, when you've heard it so much.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God.
You know, you get sick of it eventually.
So like, first starting out compared to now, like how has the way you've like measured your success like changed? Were you like looking for just views at first, and then now things are kind of more like predicated on you're trying to get more sales or placements, or what do you look for now to decide if a beat was successful or not?
If I decide if a beat's successful,
yeah.
I'm not sure. I try not to focus. One thing I learned to stop doing is focusing so much on all the numbers and like how much you made or how much your views are doing. Or because I used to be very like, oh, this beat did 100 less views in the first 24 hours. What was wrong with it? And then overthinking it. And then one thing I learned was it literally doesn't matter. I've had songs that I thought were like beats that I thought were not very good, did 1 million views. And then I've had beats that I thought, this is amazing. So I spend all night mixing it and it gets like 2,000 views. Right. So I feel like I've stopped focusing too much on like the number side and constantly checking my subscribers and stuff like that. Right. Letting it do its thing. I mean,
no, that stuff will drive you crazy. Like it's putting so much like unnecessary pressure on yourself for things that are out of your hand.
Yeah, it's literally there's things you can do to like help it, but at the same time, it's like you can't force a beat to blow up. You can't make something blow up, or you just have to let it you put it out there and then let it do its thing. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, no, I think that's super good advice. I think that's super key. Like, just like if you spend too much time obsessing over it, then it's going to distract from the actual like important things that are actually in your control, like making good music and improving on yourself every day.
Exactly.
If you're too worried about the numbers, and if people are seeing it or if it's getting the right type of engagement, then I think that'll eventually like leak into your workflow and
you can burn yourself out very easily. And like you said, it can leak into your workflow. If you're in a bad mood, you're not necessarily going to make that good music. If you're stressing over, oh, my beats need to be better, that's not a good frame of mind to be in to make better beats. Like it's when you're in a positive, like you're feeling good, like you're happy, you're excited about stuff, but you're going to go and you're going to make some good music.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's subjective, but
yeah,
and all that.
I mean, I think people like in the chat can probably like attest to that. I think, even like I've heard before that like if you're angry, you might make better like angry beats, but I don't think so. I don't think that has really anything.
I mean, sometimes if like my mom used to always say whenever I was sad, she'd be like, now's when you should be writing songs. So I mean, there's kind of like sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, I think it could definitely work. I think, probably you shouldn't intentionally upset yourself, even if it but I think you could, everybody has their
crash the car and try and make a drill beat. Like,
yeah, you don't have to commit crimes.
Don't do that.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I agree. In the chat, like, it can destroy the vibes. Like, it's just always better to be vibing, have a positive outlook,
Yeah, definitely.
So you're talking about uploading consistently. So what does that kind of look like exactly? Do you upload like every day? Do you have a certain number that you're looking for to get up a week?
So for the last almost just over 4 years, I've uploaded a new beat every Monday and Thursday without fail.
That's amazing.
Literally every Monday and Thursday, a beat is gone on, BeatStars, YouTube, and everything. 2 beats Monday and Thursday for the last 4 years. And
I know on YouTube that like
stay consistent because of that. So it just goes to show.
Right. And it helps in multiple ways too. Like I know that on YouTube, it helps the algorithm, right? Like if you're uploading consistently, that I think they say that it factors into it.
Yeah, as well, because like your fans will know when you release stuff, so they'll be constantly checking at that exact time on those days.
Yeah. Do you see like that in your analytics at all? Like people are watching or listening right away when you upload because they know when you're posting?
Yeah, I think I do. I do like, so over like 24 hours, I do about 1,500 views on a new beat, but in the first hour, I do about 500. So it just shows like they're right there and then, but
right.
I'm not sure. YouTube's another, like, who knows what it's doing? Like,
yeah, who knows? I think it's changing all the time too. So it's like, it's hard to like, I mean, you can study it, but it's hard like to keep up with it all the time because it changes and they don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
so it's just like
they know, like the AI that controls it, it's doing its own thing now. That's just right. They don't know what's going on.
It's too powerful. It's out of their heads now.
Lord knows.
Right. And so what kind of happens like within that process, right? So you upload every Monday and Thursday. Do you have like a consistent schedule where you work on it? Do you have like benchmarks that you kind of commit yourself to hitting throughout the week to make sure that you get those uploads up?
Yeah, so like beginning of the week is when I kind of like write the beats in advance, like a week in advance. But obviously you can't like force creativity. So like it happens when it happens. But towards the start of the week, I try to get some beats written, and then towards the end of the week, I start picking which of those beats are going to be the 2 I release next week, and then I do pick them and then do the artwork and schedule them and that sort of stuff. Like I don't like to. I've done it before where I haven't had a beat until like the night before, and then you're kind of rushing, and it goes back to that whole frame of mind thing, and now you're stressing and you're just putting anything out.
Right.
Have it in advance so that there's no stress, and you have all the time to make music.
Yeah, I agree. I think for especially creatives, like it's kind of like you have to find a middle ground, right? Like structure is really key. Otherwise, like with creative types, like I know I'm one too, like you might just be like, you know what, I don't feel like it this week. So then like you'll forget about it. But then you also don't want to get into that position where you're rushing yourself and putting out something that's not up to your standards just to get it up. So really having a schedule and planning things out ahead of time to make sure you're not rushing is really where
you're giving yourself enough time to write music. Like you said, like you can't just write a hit instantly or anything. You can't say now go and write an amazing beat and I'll probably be like, I'll write something awful.
Right, exactly.
It's just giving yourself time to let the creativity and the inspiration hit, because that can come whenever. It's coming like 5 a.m. before for me, and then I've been up all night.
Right. And it happens for everybody on their own time too, like some people kind of go through things and they just like to work super quickly. Like I know some people might get caught up like in the YouTube tutorials where they make the beat in like 10 minutes and it sounds great, but like you don't see like all the cuts that go in between that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And the planning, and it was already in their head ahead of time, and they're just recreating it. You never know.
Yeah.
It takes a while. So, okay, let's see what else is going on. I'm trying to check in with the chat again. I hear a lot of people agreeing like consistency, is definitely key for yourself and also for your audience too.
It's key in anything. You want to get big, you go to the gym every day. Same thing. Right,
exactly. Upload every day, all year long. That takes some dedication, especially if you're putting out like really quality stuff. Like it's tough to get one up every day. So don't beat yourself up if you miss something or
So it's something like, I think it was about a year ago, I randomly decided, okay, I'm gonna upload 3 times a week. Because in my head I was thinking, oh, it's gonna make me grow even more. And it did the opposite. My views started going down after uploading 3 beats a week instead of 2. So the moment I went back to 2, up again, sales back up. Like it's I can't explain it. I think it's for everybody. If it's working for you, keep doing it.
Yeah, and I think people, you can have different audiences. Some people can upload every day and they get a lot of views every day because people that are listening to their music want something new every day. You really got to learn about your audience too.
Yes, yeah.
I think this is a good question. Are you posting at specific times on Monday and Thursday? Like, do you have like a morning or a night?
5 p.m. my time. So I think you're 5 hours behind in Eastern Standard, so it'll be 12 p.m. But it's 5 p.m. British time, because I think when I went back to when I was uploading every day, when I eventually wanted to get into a schedule, I looked at the most popular days and times people were listening to my music, which was Mondays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. So now that's just when I post, and I see every day at 5 p.m. is when the highest amount of views are. So obviously you post when the highest amount of views are, it's more likely to get pushed by YouTube and that sort of thing.
Right. Where are you seeing your customers come from? Like what locations in the world? I know like there's the feature on BeatStars and the stats. Like have you checked that out and see where people are?
Yeah, my most popular is obviously US because it's the biggest.
Right.
But then I'm very big in like Eastern Europe, like Poland, Cheshire, places like that, like Russia, Spain. Like my sound is very popular there, and I didn't know this, but it turns out it's a very Eastern European type of sound. So yeah, I get a lot. I think Poland is on my YouTube. I think it's my second most viewed.
Wow. Have you ever done any like targeting in those areas that you see are more popular, or have you ever done any like specific types of like marketing tactics?
Yeah, I've tried, but I don't know how well it's worked. I haven't really paid attention to it. But like, yeah, plus with the language barrier as well, it can be hard.
Yeah, it's tough. No, I've noticed that like so something that like I've noticed with on our YouTube page on BeatStars, we had a lot of viewers from Latin America, so we put out a Spanish language tutorial, and that ended up doing pretty well. So I think it's good to think about. Obviously, you probably want to keep like your pro page or like your main stuff in English.
Yeah.
Especially because like it's the language you're most familiar with and where your main audience is coming from. But it might also be good if you're sending out like emails, you're doing email campaigns to put other things more specific to those types of audiences.
That could be a good idea. I mean, I need to find some people that speak Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do have a lot of like they don't speak very good English, so they don't understand the licensing and all that information.
Right.
So they kind of have to contact me, and then like, it's like broken English. But I mean, thanks to Google Translate, I get through it.
Google Translate is so amazing. It's so like it's a part of my daily life. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it is literally a part of my daily life. I'm constantly on that. I have the app on my phone right on the home screen as well.
Right. The little bubble for it. Yeah, I have that too. So when you're talking to customers, like you were saying, like if they have questions about licenses, like what kind of things do you think really help to make these sort of language barriers or these barriers between producers and artists buying beats like more easy? I know you can sometimes it's kind of hard to understand your own licenses even to be able to list out and describe them to people, but what have you found works for you in being able to communicate the intricacies of your licenses to your customers?
I think breaking it down as simply as you can, because like you read the contracts, like it's lots of like legal jargon, like people don't really understand the words. So you break it down to like as simply as you can, like this license, you give the track out, you can put it on Spotify, like that kind of stuff. People understand it. And I think the best thing I ever did was I made a blog post on the pro page explaining all the different licenses. So now whenever someone sends me a DM or messages me like, oh, what does this mean? I just link them straight to that and it's sorted. So instead of me having to say the same thing over and over and over again every day.
Right. No, that's actually really amazing to hear, because like I've been telling you guys in the chat, Levi and I have been telling you on BeatStars Academy, you need to start writing more blog posts explaining your licenses, explain your licenses to people. So take it from
bought the wrong license as well because they didn't understand.
Yeah.
And then they go through the whole, oh, I can't refund you, or we need to do this, and just they get annoyed.
Right.
We're talking about customer service. So just having that there, they go, oh, okay, cool. And it's all laid out in really simple terms. So
yeah, exactly.
Definitely the best thing I did.
For sure. You can also do that with like a chat bot too. Like you can set up the chat bot on your on your pro page and just set up like the automated responses just to like send people those links.
I have the Facebook Messenger on the pro page, but I still need to edit the little options that you can say.
Right. Yeah. It takes a little while, but like I think it's super key to like being able to do customer service like when you're asleep. Because you're on different time from your main audience, right? Like you're in the UK. So like, you don't want people waking you up at 3 a.m. asking you about like, should I get the MP3 or should I get the wave? Like,
Yeah,
all right,
there has been many times I've like been dealing with that at like half asleep at like 4 or 5 a.m. I had someone recently try and call me on Instagram at like 3 in the morning or something. I'm trying to sleep. But yeah.
You're like, okay, yeah, just talk to my chat bot.
Yeah. I'm all about the customer service, so I stay awake. Like,
For sure.
There's someone who's interested in getting an exclusive for, hundreds of dollars. You're staying up.
Yeah, that's true.
You're letting that pass you by.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you think motivates people, or your audience at least, to go from like a cheaper license type to a more expensive one? And what do you do on your end to sort of like, I don't know if you try to like nudge them towards that, but like how does that kind of go for you?
Honestly, I don't know. You'd have to ask them what makes them go for it. Right? I mean, I think people like the unlimited lease because there's no barriers. You know what I mean? Like they have no worries. But I always tell people, because like my beats are free for non-profit. I always tell people, if you're just planning on YouTube and SoundCloud, don't buy the beat. But don't buy the beat, because like you're just gonna waste money, or and that helps build a better rapport with the person. They know you're not just trying to get a quick buck or something. And then you always come back and they buy a license. And then it's same with like the exclusive. Like I've had people be like, "Oh, I want the exclusive," and I'm like, "But do you really need it?" Like there's a lot of like really, really small independent artists, and it's like, why are you going to be spending $600-700 on a beat that you could do the same thing with for 200? But then there's people that they want exclusives, but they're just it's just how people are. It's different people want different things, so you kind of each person is different how I deal with them. It depends on what they want. I help them as much as I can. If they want this, they get that. It's
Yeah. Do you like selling exclusives, or would you rather like, save your beats and just kind of sell like unlimiteds to make the beat go farther?
It depends on which beat it is. I mean, I've got beats that haven't sold in years, and if someone offered me for the exclusive, I'd probably sell it. But then I've had people offer for like some of my top selling beats. There's no way I'm selling you that. I've had people offer me like crazy stuff for some of my like, top selling beats. I'm like, I'm just not selling it exclusively. Like there's no way. There's no way in that go.
That's awesome. So talking about like these types of beats that you're selling a lot of licenses for, what are like some of do you ever have like favorites that favorite finished products? Because you're talking about the one that there were so many that you've heard so many different versions of it. Like what do you like to hear when an artist sends you a finished product from your beat?
What do I like to hear? Like,
like, is there a type of music where you're like, oh man, I wish they didn't do that to my beat, they massacred it? Or like, do you is there some where you're like, man, like this, I can't even believe this is my beat, like this sounds amazing?
It's a mix. You get stuff that is just horrible, and then you get stuff that is incredible. Pretty much all the big songs I've produced, I found out through someone. They were like, oh, this person should a thing, and then I go and listen to it. I'm like, damn, like this is fucking awesome. So yeah, it's kind of like it doesn't matter which beat. It's just if it's good, it's good. There's a lot of very, 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 very good artists out there that no one knows about. That's the biggest thing. Like there's people that are better than the top selling artists right now that have 0 plays. It's crazy.
That's crazy. You sent over a few, and I noticed that like some of them like weren't in English. Like, how does that like
almost like 80% of them?
Yeah. So like, how does that kind of like make you feel like when you see that like probably like a country maybe like you never even thought of would be interested in your stuff, and they're producing stuff or they're like making songs with your music, like what's that experience like?
Yeah, it's like I said before, how like Poland and Spain and stuff like that are really big for me. I kind of knew that from the start when I was really reading the analytics. So like, yeah, when I hear it, I'm like, this is crazy. Like I have no idea what they're saying, but this is awesome. Like what? Like okay. Like there's a song, I think my biggest one, it's done over like 21 million or something on YouTube, and it's a Polish song. and it's so good, but I have absolutely no clue what they're saying. But I listen to that in my car. I'm playing my friends it, and they're like, "You speak Polish?" I'm like, "No."
Oh, that's funny.
It sounds so good. So yeah, it is really like I mean, nowadays it's more of a shock for me where it's a song in English.
Right.
Like, the majority of my big placements are all South America, Spain, Poland, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just awesome to hear like your stuff over different languages and from different cultures, and like the music videos are different and stuff like that. Like it just
right. Yeah, if it has 21 million views in Poland, like you're probably famous in Poland, and people don't even, and you don't even know. People don't even know.
I remember when the song came out, I think it did 1 million views in like 24 hours, and my Instagram was just full of people, in Poland. Like, this is amazing. And I remember I had some, because they obviously found the beat on YouTube, bought it on BeatStars,
yeah,
and made the song. And I remember I had someone message me like, "Oh, I love the beat you did on this song. Can I get something like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can literally get that exact beat. Like, they're going to limited license. You can get that exact beat if you want it." You know, but yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's amazing. Like, so now that we're kind of talking about like, you know, your songs blowing up, I think this is a good time to like ask you about like, you know, BeatStars Publishing. You're a BeatStars Pub client. So how did that come about? Like, we hit you up, and what were you thinking right away? Like when BeatStars announced like publishing, and what were your thoughts?
Like, considering how good BeatStars is for producers, when it comes to publishing deals, as many people know, they can really fuck people over. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear or not.
No, you can swear. It's okay.
Yeah, they can really fuck people over. So when it's a company like BeatStars doing a publishing deal, it's gonna be good. So I mean, you know, I looked into it all, and like I spoke with Greg. It's Greg, and yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that have been silly to say no to be honest.
Right. Yeah, we had like a good question that just came out right now. Like, how do you find out if your beats being used if an artist hasn't gotten back to you? Well, I mean, BeatStars Publishing is kind of like gray way, right? Like, is that one of like the main things that like appeal to you about it? Like being able to, you know, BeatStars Publishing, like, you know, like we can collect like royalties for you and to make sure everything's going good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm not sure if they're talking about like if I have someone's used the beat and it's blown up or something.
Oh, they might be asking about that if you wanted to.
I think that's, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I might have misunderstood.
The kind of funny thing about that is every single song that's like done big numbers on is someone contacted me about it. Someone's like, "I just heard this song using your beat." So what's kind of crazy, like yeah, it's weird to think about, is there are probably many other songs out there right now that have millions of views in Brazil that I produce and I have no idea about. Right. So it's one of those things, like they don't have to tell you they made a song. Like, you know, if it's a big song, most of the time you're going to hear about it. We need so you can register it and get your royalties.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's super key, especially when you have like a reach with such a large audience and parts of the world that, you know, you're not familiar with, because like really, like, I mean, if nobody told you or you weren't able to have content ID or something of some kind, and people in Poland just didn't tell you, like pre-internet, like how would you find out? So I think things like that are super important.
Yeah, definitely. You need to know.
So let's go ahead and listen to some of your music. I think that's a good idea, a good transition to do right now. Let me pull up this thing that you sent me, share audio. You sent us a Blaze player. All right, so this first one is Sad Boy. Do you have like a little intro you want to give us about this before we play it?
I think this is now my most popular beat. Oh, I'm not sure. But it's over 1 million views. And this is I spoke about this earlier. This is a beat I made that I didn't think was very good, but I put it out just because I needed to put something out. And then boom, it does over 1 million views.
That's crazy.
That's the crazy thing about it. And it's made me a lot of money. So
that's awesome. All right, let's check it out. Everybody go ahead and feel free to type some questions for Morse in the chat. We're going to get to a Q&A after we listen to a few of these songs. Oh, sorry, is it playing or do I have it muted?
I can hear it.
Oh, you can hear it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I like your speakers up.
So when you're writing a beat like this, which is like, it's pretty minimalist, do you kind of just go from the guitar part and then you fill it in from there, or how do you do it?
I always start with the melody. So that was written on, and then you can skip that guitar there, just that melody, and then I just layer the vocals, bass, drum. That's how I've always done it. I always do it melody, bass, drums.
That's awesome.
90% of the time.
What was your mindset like when you were writing this melody? Were you trying to make something that kind of sounded like sad, or were you aiming for a particular sound?
Like Lil Peep vibe.
Lil Peep vibe.
Everyone says it sounds like Lil Peep, and it does.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Hence why it's called Sad Boy. So I was going for that like emo Lil Peep sound. And
right.
Yeah.
Sad Boy aesthetic is big right now, so I definitely understand it. How do you choose like these tags? So you just kind of went with sad, chill, guitar. Do you ever put like artist tags in the names?
I've done some like art, like you say, like artist type beats. I've always done descriptive, and I think that comes from, like you were saying earlier, like my sound is very unique. You know, there's not many artists I can put as the type beat. So I do sad, emotional, dark, ambient, chill, guitar, trap beat, that kind of thing, and that's what works for me.
Right.
Like you don't have to always do like an artist type beat. It can be a sad guitar type beat. You know, people are searching those terms. Trust me.
Right. Exactly. I mean, along with like, you know, like setting your genres, subgenres, and moods.
Yeah.
A lot of people do search by genre and mood, or by instrument even. So
yeah.
These are all good tags.
Yeah, I think I set mine all as just sad and dark all the time.
Right. When you so like when you have a track like that, which has like a lot of room for artists, like what do you kind of like imagine when you're writing it that people will do? Were you expecting people would like rap on it or sing on it? What were you thinking?
I guess sing, probably more sing. Like my stuff is more singable over. Okay, I mean whatever the artist does, you know.
Right. Interesting. Wait, I'm gonna put my headphones on so I can hear a little bit better. All right, this one. So something I wanted to ask you too is about your artwork. So with your artwork, like it seems like it's all pretty consistent with this kind of like painting, sort of like museum wall kind of vibe. How did you settle on that? And do you think it's like really important to have like consistency in the artwork?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the way I made it is I kind of just messed about on Photoshop, and like I've kind of made that like, oh, this looks cool, and I kind of like created this template. I mean, I've had like a bunch of different templates in the past. I've stayed like 6 months, I've done it like this, 6 months like this. Yeah, this is my most recent one. And I think it definitely helps because you see it, you know, oh, that's not, you know,
right.
I think it's kind of like to do with your branding in a way.
Right.
So yeah, definitely with the artwork, I like to keep a consistent artwork style.
Interesting. Cool. What kind of artists do you hear on this one, guys, in the chat?
There's a Brazilian artist used this one recently. They did a few 100,000, I think.
Right. Something's going on with my audio. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, cool. I'll move on to this next one just so we have time to get through all of them. This one's called Outside.
Yeah, this next one is the one with the I was saying earlier. It's got like guitars in the chorus.
Oh, cool.
But this is very different. You'll hear when it drops.
All right, cool.
A majority of the guitar stuff is all I play it all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, sometimes I use samples if I like it, but
That's dope. It was awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's a lot more like heavy and grand. I think that's good that you have like variety on your within like your beat store too, where there's more like minimalistic beats, and then there's like these other ones because different people would like different things, you know.
I tried to pick a nice mixture.
Right. So, what types of artists have you heard any finished products with this song? Like, what do they sound like?
No, this was only released I think about a week ago.
Oh, okay.
There's a guy called a guy I produced a lot of, and I sent him this recently. He hasn't sent anything back yet, but he's really good. I'm excited to hear what he does with it.
Right.
But yeah, it's only just come out, so nobody sent anything yet. And this goes back to the whole I used to produce metal. So I know to take that stuff.
This is awesome. Like you don't really hear, or I don't really hear too much music that sounds like this on BeatStars.
So that's why I was excited to put it out. And I'm definitely going to do more stuff like this.
For sure, I think that's a good idea.
It didn't do as many views, but the like engagement was like 10 times more.
Yeah. Just something to make yourself, stand out, even if this beat doesn't exactly do the same numbers as the other ones right away. I think it's cool. Like you never know. Somebody's looking through your beat store, listening to all your beats, and they're hearing something that kind of sounds like it catches their ear, but it's not quite what they want. So they'll keep looking through, and this might be the right one.
And you hear this, you're like, oh man. Yeah.
All right, let's check out.
Making something different, something unique.
Right.
It's another quite popular one, I think.
think someone was asking you if you're going to put out a drum kit. I think they're liking your drums.
Yeah, I have 3 drum kits. All my BeatStars. I have a bunch of sample packs on there today. Guitar sample packs as well, and I'm in the middle of working on another one. So,
awesome!
Yeah, I love making sample packs.
Cool. Yeah, I think these guitar I think the guitar samples are guitar loops. I think that's probably a great idea. This is some of the best guitar playing I've heard.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get through this last one. It's called Fade. I wish the play button wasn't blocking the artwork. What is that in the artwork? Is that like a?
I don't know. I just find them on Pinterest.
Oh, you find
Pinterest. Had a drop shadow, and that's it.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying before, like, I mean, it's branding, like having all these images, so similar. Like, if people are a fan of yours and they're searching for beats and they see like that image, that artwork that they're familiar with, it's just like it's another thing to identify you with, since music is like mostly an audio thing. It's good to have a visual element.
Definitely, like logos and stuff like that.
For sure.
The branding.
Fat Wave says beats are fire. Love it.
Thank you.
Inspiring vibe.
Oh, yeah.
You might have a new customer for your kids too.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man.
Cloud9's a super dope producer. He makes a lot of like really interesting like pop beats on the site.
Wow.
And other types of genres too. I just really like the pop ones. Well, what would be a good guitar for someone to buy starting out learning how to play?
If you're just learning how to play literally any guitar, make sure it's a full-size one though. A lot of like starter guitars are like kid size. So you can get like, I think you can go on like Amazon and get a guitar for like under $100. It's a full-size guitar just to practice and learn on.
Right.
Yeah, you don't even spend that much money. I don't know any exact brands, but anything really. If you're just learning.
Right. Lo-fi vibes. Would you describe your stuff as like lo-fi?
I guess it is in a way, but not in like traditional like lo-fi chill hip hop to relax / study to. Not much like that.
It kind of does have that like a little bit like slower, more minimalistic sounding vibe, but it's a little different than what you would like typically call lo-fi, I think.
Yeah, it's just like ambient kind of stuff.
Right.
Like slow driving music kind of thing.
Sure. I think movie music too. Like some of these sound like really dark and kind of creepy. Have you ever like explored like maybe trying to add your music to like, I don't know if you ever make like music videos or anything, but adding it to something like that?
Yeah, I've done work with Universal for TV and film. So I wrote some songs for them like 2 years ago, and then they get put on TV and film. Like I've been on like ESPN and Fox Sports and.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's awesome. It was like stuff like this, like.
Yeah, there's.
What did they put it on like for?
Sorry.
Like what kind of like visual like for ESPN for example, like was it like highlights or sports highlights?
Yeah, it's like Sports Zone and baseball, football, just stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just random TV things.
That's really cool. No, yeah, I mean you kind of get that vibe too. Like it's I would love to hear some of this stuff like in a horror movie or something. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I hate horror films, but I'd watch it just for that.
You gotta watch it just for that. Yeah.
Just for that,
yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. Let me go here really quick. Just because people were asking about the sound packs, let's just go check out your page really quick. Oh, you do have a few.
Yeah, I got a few on there.
So you got a free melody loop pack, Waves drum kit, guitar, all kits bundle. Oh, you got a whole bundle too.
I think I need to update that, so don't buy it if you.
Don't get that one quick. It needs to update it.
Of course, I've written sample packs for other companies as well. There's a company called Angelic Vibes, who I've written a few sample packs for them as well on there.
Right, that's awesome. Cool. Paranormal synth loops.
Oh, you do synth loops. When did I release that? 2017.
Oh man, but like that just kind of goes to show you, like, 3 years ago you may have forgotten about it, but you could still make sales from it. It's still in your store.
I still use sounds from it. I made a beat earlier that I used the sound from it, so it still works.
That's amazing.
Still good.
All right, any last minute questions for Morse before we head out here? Again, thank you to everybody for joining, watching the show. Thank you to Morse especially for being our guest this week.
Thanks for having me.
You. Any previews of the sound packs? Do they have previews on them? Let me see.
Yeah, all of them apart from that one.
Okay, apart from this one.
They have.
Okay, yeah, you do.
Yeah, they've all got previews.
And you list out everything it contains too.
Yeah, everything contains in all of them. I remember making this.
Yeah. That's how you present them too.
Yeah.
Crazy. Let's check out another one. Damn, those drums are fire though.
Thanks, man.
Let's listen to this one. So 30, there's 30 of them in here.
Yeah, I think my new one has like 50 or something.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure.
Do you just write all day? Just writing all day?
Not all day.
Dang.
That's a new guitar about a week ago, so I need to write a bunch of a new guitar pack.
Is it like a nicer one?
Not necessarily nicer, but like different sounding.
Dope.
Different sounding for different stuff.
Cool. Gonna be browsing through the packs. Hey. Let's go, Rock 5. All right, y'all. This is Jamil signing out. Thank you again, everybody, for joining in. Check out another episode of The Deal next week. Tomorrow we got BeatStars Academy, and we're going to round out the year. So hope everybody has a good end to their 2020, and good luck and well wishes to everybody for 2021.